And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Welcome back to Fanboy Fridays. Fanboys, we hope your day is going terrible. Fanboys, you might as well click off of this video because you're not going to like it. We are going to be discussing something today that I'm sure you're going to be in your feelings about. Well, number one, because you guys are emotional and predictable. So, anytime anyone is talking about your false king, you get emotional. So we can all, before you type anything in the comments, we know it's going to be an emotional response. But so let's get into this, my people. You see the title of the video. Today we need to talk about a very important question. And it's something I've been thinking about as I try to rework my list and decide where I'm going to place LeBron James, because for those of you who've been following my channel for a little over a year now, you know that one of the first videos I did is why LeBron James is not top 5. And the last few months I've changed it and said, this guy's not in my top 10. But as I sit down and think about where I would place him, that is a hard question to do, because LeBron James has not followed the standards of the players of the past. And because he's not followed the standards of the players of the past, how can you really rank him amongst the players of the past? And let's start with this. To me, in anything that you do, there's a standard way of doing it. And not only that, but in anything that you do, there's rules and regulations to what you do. It doesn't matter if you're a boxer, football fan, or even if you're just talking about a 9-to-5, whatever that job is, there are rules and regulations to what you do. And so the first part I want to talk about is the shortcuts that LeBron James has taken. Those of us, who grew up in the 90s, and I'm talking about the 90s because I grew up in the 90s, but this can apply to the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, but I'm going to talk about the 90s because I believe 90s is the height of basketball popularity. I think we can definitively say that 90s are the height of basketball popularity because the ratings say so. The ratings were high as they've ever been in the 90s, and we all know why, because of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. What made basketball so great back then was the consistency. The consistency and the understanding of the stars that in order to be great, you had to follow the same standards that was set before you for that greatness. And back in the 90s, you had loyal fans who were loyal to their teams, and they were loyal to their teams because the star players were loyal to the team and the fans. Back then, you had rivalries. When the Bulls played the Knicks, part of what allowed it to become a rivalry is that you knew the star players were going to be there. How can you have a rivalry with a team when, number one, your star players are the driving force behind the team? And so if you have your star players consistently there and you happen to have two franchises that are competitive and two star players that are very competitive, then you build up that, for lack of a better word, animosity over the years. You build up that intensity between each battle over the years, because hey, when we play these guys, they want to win and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win, and we want to win and we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And not only that, is back then, like I said, you felt like the star players were not only playing for themselves because they were actual competitors, but they were also playing for the franchise, for the city, and for the fans. We as fans felt like the star players were invested in their fans and they wanted to win for the fans, for us, for whoever your team was back in those days. So, like I said, the stars understood that you had to follow the standard set before you, which is building your legacy with one team, bringing one franchise to greatness through year after year, not only developing yourself, but developing team chemistry, developing the players around you if you're the leader. And and LeBron changed all that. Because I say this, to me, the great players of anything is a combination of skill, will, and leadership. And if you want to compare LeBron James to any of the greats, to me, he falls short. He falls short in skill because LeBron James has relied on his athleticism. I don't care what you fanboys say. LeBron James is one of the lesser skilled greats, especially if we're talking about outside of centers. He's one of the lesser skilled greats. If you're talking about will, LeBron James is a quitter, and he's proved it many times. LeBron James is an excuse maker. LeBron James is a blamer. He's proved it many times. 2011 is a prime example of your king's will. And if we're talking about leadership, I think enough said. First of all, how can you be a good leader when you're not doing all the things that you require of your teammate? How can you be a good leader, just like a good manager at a restaurant can normally perform all of the jobs? If he has to hop and do some cooking, he can do that. If he has to hop on the register, he can do that. If he needs to wait some tables, he can do that. A good leader can do the things that he's asking of his players, of his followers, who's supposed to be following his lead. LeBron James is not that. And wow, we're gonna sidetrack just a second. I want to talk about his so-called IQ for just a moment. I was thinking about this. If LeBron James had such high IQ, he wouldn't whine as much as he did. Again, another thing that determines your greatness is how poised you can stay when the pressure's on. It's how much you can keep cool. And we've seen all the greats lose their cool at one point or another. We've seen it from Michael Jordan. We've seen it from Larry Bird. Kobe, Kareem. It doesn't matter who. Everybody's gonna lose their cool. But in general, the greats, the good leaders, understand that, hey, I got to stay calm for the rest of my team. This constant whining that LeBron James does, to me, that is a prime example of very low basketball IQ, because the time that you are spent whining to the refs, if you've got such a great IQ, you should understand how that is detracting from your team. You should understand how the constant whining is not only setting a bad example for your team, because is this what you're telling the rest of your team to do? That anytime they get, again, this is the mentality of someone of the opposite of overcoming. Because here it is. If you actually think that the referees are not giving you a fair shake, well, guess what? You can't control that. So you got two decisions. You gonna whine and cry like a baby, like your king does, fanboys, or you gonna say, hey, well, maybe the referees got something against me, but I got to figure out a way to overcome this. That means I have to play extra great. That means I have to play extra mistake free. But I'm gonna put this on me because I got to figure out a way to get this done, no matter what. And I gotta lead my team to believe that we can get this done no matter what. If the referees are against us, then I really have to make sure that my team understands that we can still get this done no matter who's against us. This is what a leader would do. LeBron James is not that. And like I said, the whining is an example of very low IQ. Because again, you spend it not getting back on defense. LeBron James not playing defense the way that he does, because it's a difference between picking your spots, so to speak. It's a difference between pacing yourself on defense. But LeBron James, again, we're looking at too many clips of 4-on-5. Again, high IQ. Yeah, okay. So back to what I was saying. When you are comparing him to the greats like Magic and Bird, who have all of these same attributes, and you compare LeBron to them, the skill, the will, like I said, skill, LeBron James has really relied on his athleticism. Not only is that very evident in how he plays, but that's very evident in the conversation around LeBron James. Again, I've said this many times. What we hear about LeBron James over and over is how he takes care of his body, because that's what he cares about. We don't hear about the time that he puts in on his skills. And then you have to throw in the alleged allegations, which, you know, only LeBron James, the person he gets them from, and Chael Sonnen knows if that's true or not. But yeah, we hear about how LeBron James takes care of his body. So, like I said, the whole skill thing is LeBron James has gotten by on his athleticism. You know, the will thing, like I said, LeBron James does not have the same kind of will and as the other players who are in the top 10, top 20 even. And as far as leadership, the fact that LeBron James whines and doesn't get back on defense. Again, we're not talking about pacing yourself on defense. If you're pacing yourself on defense, you're gonna at least get back. Now, you may not be locked in like your life depended on it, but you're not gonna be a liability on defense. But the way LeBron James doesn't play defense, again, that shows that he is no leader at all. So LeBron James has taken shortcuts. So when you are comparing him and the traits of the greats that you, and especially if you're a Michael Jordan fan, like I said, to me, you cannot be a true Michael Jordan fan. You cannot be a true Michael Jordan fan and have LeBron James really in your top 5, arguably in your top 10. But yeah, and if you got LeBron James at number 2, I'm sorry, no, you're not a LeBron James fan. But so here's the second thing. Now, so we talked about LeBron James not being ranked amongst the greats. You know, and I feel like this is something everybody really needs to think about. You know, if you have LeBron James in your top 5, top 10, again, maybe even top 15, top 20, top 30, you know, maybe top 75. This is something that really needs to be given some serious consideration. Now, here's the other part. Fanboys, click off. I'm trying to tell you. The other thing is, but the flopping thing is cheating. And there is no kind of excuse that you can make to try to say that it's not. And if you do agree that flopping is cheating, then we have to ask the question, should LeBron James be ranked at all? I mean, you know, and again, and it doesn't matter what you do, what sport you play, there are rules that say that this is in line with the game, and outside of these rules is cheating. Where you're talking about boxing and a low blow, and there are usually penalties and other things that, you know, if you cheat the game, there are usually penalties. You know, imagine in boxing, someone who had a reputation for throwing several low blows a fight. You know, who threw several low blows a fight. You know, if this player was winning at all, but especially if this player had a losing record. I mean, how could he be ranked when he's constantly, you know, he's not even winning at a high rate while cheating. He's not even winning at a high rate, but he's cheating. So how could he possibly be ranked amongst the great of the sport of boxing. And this is the same thing with LeBron James in basketball. This whole trying to convince the refs that he got hit when he didn't is unforgivable. And I really don't know what to say, because I know it is something that a lot of people try to dismiss, a lot of people try to make excuses for, a lot of people try to make it seem like it's not as bad as it is. But for those people who have never really sat down and thought about that this guy is actually cheating, and he has compilation videos of him cheating, should he be ranked at all? Or should that completely disqualify him? Like, should we start looking at LeBron James' legacy? Is this something that needs to be completely wiped once he's gone? And I'm not saying, obviously, the NBA is not going to erase his legacy, but I'm talking about from a fan's perspective. When you look at LeBron James, should his legacy in your mind is like, hey, once this guy is gone, we're going to pretend like he didn't exist. and because here's the thing. When you add all of these things up in totality, right? When you add up the fact that he has taken shortcuts, when you add up the fact that he has cheated the game, again, flopping is cheating, and there is no way around that. And then when you add up the other antics of LeBron James, when you throw Clutch Sports into the mix, when you throw in the mix that this guy has literally started a media company to try to persuade public opinion about himself. I mean, fanboys, you guys really think about that. Really think about, not only how desperate do you, are you fanboys okay with that? Like, you okay with supporting someone who's so desperate to try to be the GOAT that he has a media company, paying people to try to persuade people to think he's something that people don't think he is? Like, really, are you guys okay with that? That is desperate, and yeah, you fanboys supporting him like you guys are ridiculous, and so is your king. Yeah, so when you couple all of those things on top of the fact that he's managed to make himself one of the most disliked athletes in the history of sports. Again, just Google it. Most hated athletes. LeBron James will come up in every list. And when you add up all these things, when you add up the detriment he's done to the quality of the game of basketball, I'm not saying, in terms of, I guess I can't say he's helped grow the game, but he's helped players get more money, which, again, that has nothing to do with the quality of the product of basketball. When we talk about what he's done to diminish the quality of the product of the game itself, when we talk about him not setting a precedence that it's okay for the stars who have jumping ability to not participate in the dunk contest. But not participate in the dunk contest, but then want to say that you're one of the greatest dunkers of all time. When we talk about the precedence of where the All-Star game is at now, when we talk about the fact that players don't take the regular season serious, therefore we also in return wind up with less intense playoff games. Because, I don't care what you say, like I said, playoff games aren't as intense as they used to be. Like, players used to, you used to feel like something was really on the line. Now it just feels like players compete harder than what they do in the regular season. When you think about the ridiculous things that has been added seemingly simply for LeBron James' benefit, like the in-season tournament, like the play-in tournament. Like, these are things that really has only benefited LeBron James. So when you think about what LeBron James has done to diminish the quality of the product of basketball, and then we have everybody running around here, again, talking about making the right play. On draft night, I forgot what draftee I was watching the interview with him, right after he got drafted, and I can't even remember what team he went to right now, but I think he was a guard. And, they asked him what can fans expect for him or the organization or something. And he was like, oh, well, you can count on me to make the right play. I'm so sick of hearing that. And this is, to me, is directly from LeBron James. I'm so sick of hearing people talking about they make the right play. Nobody, first of all, nobody always makes the right play. Nobody always makes the right play. Now, what you can say, you can count on me to always give my 100% best out there. There's a lot of things you can always do. You can always try. But to say that you always make the right play, man, please. That is a bunch of BS if I ever heard it in my life. And I'm sick of hearing people say that. I'm sick of hearing people talk about their confidence and say ridiculous stuff because they think, they're just being confident. Again, no, confidence is not just saying it. You have to have a reason to be confident. Again, to me, Michael Jordan is the single most confident player, and you can tell by the way he talks. Here's something for you fanboys. To me, something that you can tell when someone is truly confident about what they say is they just speak about it matter of fact, and they don't have to over exaggerate, what they're saying. It's like when players come out talking about, oh man, I cooked Michael Jordan. You already showing me you're not confident. Ja Morant. When Michael Jordan talked, it was very matter of fact, and it was reasonings behind it. Again, because Michael Jordan believed that, hey, if you put in the work, then there's no reason to fear anything. And so his confidence was based off of the work that he put in. His confidence was based off of tangible results. So he's talked very matter of factly about his skills. Even when they were asking him, who would he want to play in one-on-one? And, he mentioned Kobe and LeBron and several different players. And he said, I don't think I lose, except for maybe Kobe, because he steals all my moves. But, it wasn't something so exaggerated like, oh, man, none of these players could compare to me, or I'll kill these players. He don't have to talk like that because he's actually confident about his skills. But, yeah, this is something else that LeBron James has bought into the league. It's this false confidence and this notion that just because you said something makes it so. That one right there made me the GOAT. But anyway, we are gonna hold up here, like I said. But for those of you who have LeBron James in your top 5, top 10, I think it's time to give some real consideration at should he be there, and potentially should he be ranked at all. Like I said, to me, LeBron James has done enough despicable things in his career to where, it's arguable that he shouldn't be ranked. If you're comparing him to the same standards by which I would say not only that we have judged basketball, but that we have judged great players from any sports since the beginning of time. Again, is their skill, their will to win, and their leadership. And LeBron James falls way short compared to the other greats. And again, not only did he fall short, but he failed to even go by the standards of the greats that were set before him. So I think it's time we give some serious thought. I'm going to be giving some serious thought. Like I said LeBron James is not in my top 10 anymore, but You know, as I sit and try to work, this is what prompted this. As I'm sitting and trying to think of where I would rank LeBron, to me, it's really hard to rank him. Thus, you know, should he be ranked at all based on how his career has gone? And like I said, if you're a fan of any of these players, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, you know, Bill Russell, any of these fierce competitors who were great leaders, and whatnot, to me, this is a very valid question that I think more people need to start answering. And we're going to wrap it up here, but I want to say this one last thing. This is why I don't debate with LeBron James fans. This is why I don't debate with LeBron James fans, because there is a fundamental difference. And if we can't agree that LeBron James has taken shortcuts, and if we can't agree that flopping is cheating, at the very least, we have to agree on those two things. And if you do agree with me, then I need to know, how does that affect your ranking? For you LeBron James fans, any of you, if you do agree that flopping is cheating, because again, you're trying to mislead the refs. You're trying to mislead the refs into making a call that didn't happen. That is cheating. And if you agree that he has taken shortcuts, again, let's one more time, the super team things. Yes, there has been teams with super talent on it almost since the beginning of the NBA. But the difference is, it does make a difference when you choose to do it. It does make a difference. Not one, and you didn't choose to do it once. Like he's chosen his situations since he left Cleveland. And so, and again, he went to Miami with 2 top 10 players in the NBA. All of them conspired together. To me, this hurts Dwayne Wade's legacy as well as Chris Bosh. But it definitely hurts LeBron James' legacy. And if you agree that he formed a super team willingly, he willingly went to join the competition. Again, the key word here, fanboys, is willingly went to join the competition. I'm going to say this one more time. The other superstars in the league, that's your competition. The role players are not your competition. You're a superstar for a reason, because you're supposed to be one of the better ones. So if you are one of the better players in the league, your other competition is the superstars. That is your direct competition. It's superstars leading role players against each other. So if you agree that him going to Miami was a shortcut, that he has tried to take shortcuts and manipulate the circumstances in his favor, and that doesn't affect how you rank him, we have nothing to talk about. There is absolutely nothing for us to talk about. I don't care about his accolades, his stats, none of that. We have nothing to talk about if we can't agree that he's taken shortcuts and that he's cheated the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.